Alright, well, I will admit, the idea of a Black Panther game does sound incredibly cool. However, it's getting pretty annoying how these companies are announcing games as a way to generate hype and actually get people to apply to be working on the actual game development of the project. Now, while I have no problem with a smaller indie studio using this tactic, after all of how competitive the gaming market has become, the little guys have to do whatever they can to get their names out there. However, Black Panther is being published by EA. So you would think one of the largest publishers in the world would be able to work out all the details of this game and actually have a team ready to develop it before they show it off to the public. Well, if you thought that, then you would be incorrect, because they're still in the hiring process of building the studio that will be working on this upcoming Black Panther game. In fact, on EA's website, on the official announcement page for Black Panther, they have a paragraph discussing this very fact. So is the game in early development, or is the actual studio making the game in early development? I wouldn't be surprised to learn that no development on the actual game has even begun and they're still in the brainstorming ideas stage. I mean, let's just look at the bullet points we know about this game. Single player, third person, story driven, and AAA development. In fact, this is what the developers had to say about the upcoming Black Panther game. We're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther experience, giving them agency and control over the narrative than they've ever experienced in a story-driven game before. Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do. Does this song sound familiar? Could it be because sounds exactly like the information we got about the Wonder Woman game when it was first announced? I mean, look at what Monolith put out about Wonder Woman. Single player, story driven, AAA, third person, open world. Plus, after the announcement, they even started to ramp up their hiring process as well, as if they renounced the game as a hiring tactic for other developers instead of the general consumer. All the bullet points are the same. Just replace Black Panther with Wonder Woman and Wakanda with Thenesium. The information is so vague because the reveal is not for the consumer. This reveal, all it was to get the internet hype so developers start to seek out employment on these projects. All this is a hiring tactic. These companies pretty much abuse the fact that game development is many people's dream jobs. We hear story after story about how awful the gaming culture is, requiring massive amounts of crunch time, underpaid salaries, and all sorts of nonsense. Plus, these companies just went through massive layoffs. I mean, not long ago, EA themselves laid off 700 to 800 people. Yet, here we are a short while later, and they're looking to build a brand new studio from the ground up for this Black Panther game. It's starting to feel like this is an endless cycle. These publishing companies lay off people to hire fresh blood, which they could underpay and overwork. And they get away with it because they use tactics like announcing a popular IP to get people excited, especially new game developers trying to get their foot in the door. And I think this is a huge factor of why we keep hearing about these horror stories in game development, because of nonsense like this. It's almost like they use the hype and the name brand recognition that these franchises carry as bargaining chips in the interview process, especially when it comes to discussing the developers' wages and hours. It's almost like as an employee, you'd be willing to accept less money and work harder because you're working on something that you are personally passionate about and you just want your name attached to it. But the companies know that you're passionate and that you're a huge fan, so they take advantage of that and honestly kind of abuse you in the workforce. By the way, before I wrap this up, I just want to make it clear that this is not an attack on game developers or game development studios. I believe that this is more of a tactic that the publishers use. And it's not just EA that does this. We've seen this time and time again. Overall, it's a scummy practice to prey upon eager game developers, artists, Q&A testers, basically any entry-level or mid-entry level employee in the gaming space. That being said, I do wish Cliffhanger Games all the best luck with Black Panter, and I do look forward to seeing more on it. But I would love to hear what you all think. Are you guys tired of publishers announcing games that are extremely far away? Do you think that this is a hiring tactic they use to get people to apply, only then to use the popular IP and upcoming hype game as a bargaining chip when discussing their wages and work hours? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you made it this far and did enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.